The air we breathe is our vital life source. It keeps us warm, it keeps us cool, and it also keeps us alive. But as the environment becomes increasingly polluted, unhealthy, and sometimes lethal, people are rushing to protect themselves from the air. The idea of living in an everyday world on Earth where the air is so contaminated that humans shouldn't breathe it is nothing new. Over a century ago, in Ian Forster's short story, The Machine Stops, people are already living underground in safe automated pods. When they go out onto the surface of the Earth, they have to wear respirators to protect themselves from the dangers of breathing the air. By the 2020s in Australia, our cities were filled with bushfire smoke, and then we were gripped by the COVID-19 pandemic. Face masks became part of everyday life, and air filter and purification sales shot up. Air quality became a priority in schools. Luxury cars were designed with increasingly advanced air filtration tech. Many people installed clean air tech in their homes to keep themselves safe from the virus, allergens, mold, smoke, and other pollutants. But is this growing impulse to purify and filter our indoor air sustainable? In Forster's world, the machine actually does stop. How can we protect the air from the very damage that we will do to it if we continue to manufacture, transport, and power the air technologies that are designed to protect us from the air? We need innovative answers to this question. And for the last year, I've been meeting people in their homes and online to ask how they're coping with our emerging air quality crisis. I've also been speaking with world-leading academics, specialising in the social, technical, and health science of living in a world where air quality matters.
Do you think there's something to say about that?
Distinguished Professor Lydia Morawska is a physicist and an expert in air quality. Why is it important to research air quality?
We breathe in air about 12 times every minute. And if there was no air, within a few minutes, we would die. So this is the most important what we intake into our bodies, air. And if this air is contaminated, then the impact of this will be felt basically in all the parts of our body.
Professor Deborah Lupton is a sociologist and an expert in public health and digital technologies.
I guess I first became interested in air quality actually when I moved to a new place about 8 years ago. For the first time in my life, I got hay fever. A few years later was the 2019-2020 Black Summer bushfires, and the city that I was living in for literally months on end was engulfed by this horrible, choking, dark brown smoke. That summer was the first time I actually bought a mask to protect my airways against the pollutants that were in the air. Then COVID happened a few weeks later, and someone who's researched infectious diseases for a long time, I was highly aware of the dangers that posed, because it is very, very hard to control an airborne virus. One of the reasons is it is invisible.
That in the changing climate and in general climate getting warmer, there will be increased frequency and magnitude of bushfires, which will have an impact on air quality outdoors in our cities and then indoors where we spend most of our time.
Just after the 2020 bushfires and during and after the pandemic lockdowns, our Digital Energy Futures project team and the Emerging Tech Lab at Monash University undertook research with over 80 households across the Australian states of Victoria and New South Wales. We visited their homes both online and in person, and we discovered crucial new interdependencies between the future of air and energy. Professor Yolanda Strangers is a sociologist and an expert in digital technologies and energy futures.
So the Digital Energy Futures project is looking at a whole range of lifestyle trends or practices that are changing in our homes. But a critical focus for us is comfort and cooling, because that's where historically a lot of our energy demand has come from. Our research has found that Australians are increasingly concerned about the air in their homes. So it's not just about comfort anymore, it's also about providing safe and healthy air. And there's a number of reasons for this. So our participants say that, the bushfires that they've experienced, climate change events, concerns with asthma and allergens, increasing pet ownership, so having a new pet in the home, and of course the pandemic, have all increased their concerns around having not only comfortable air, but healthy and safe air in their homes.
So my name's Fred. I live with my wife, my daughter, and our puppy or dog. This is my daughter Kyra. She's 1.5 years old, and this is my wife, Punim. Yeah, we live in.
Hi.
We're just outside of a main city in Victoria, and we love it here. It's great.
My name's Pamela Grattan. I'm 75 years old. I don't work now. I worked till I was 74 doing market research.
I'm Pat. I have sort of retired, but it's not retired yet because all the job I do is unpaid work. And I live in this house for 23 years with my husband.
When it comes to ventilating our homes, Australians can be very resourceful, and we don't always need technology to improve air quality.
Sometimes I open that window. If I'm sitting in here, I'll open that window, which comes out, and there's a screen there. So the breeze will come in through the lounge then. So there's a similar door upstairs, you'll see, and I get the breeze come through there, and it will come right through the house. You can stand here when you open it and you can feel it coming down.
You will see I have a lot of windows, so we can have the direct ventilation. So for air, if you only have one open window and nothing, and the opposite side, the air won't come in easily. So if you want to ventilate the house more quickly, more efficiently, you need to have the, what do you see as a ventilation windows at the opposite side.
Many of the people we met were already using air purification and filtration technologies. Many of them had dehumidifiers, or they were using smart oil diffusers and other new air tech.
I was not concerned about air quality. I didn't have hay fever, like my wife doesn't get it. And it was just something that wasn't on the top of our mind being so far out from the city. But whenever I ride my motorbike to the city, you could feel that you're getting less oxygen for some reason. I thought that, that might be one of the reasons to start getting air purification at home. And then COVID hit as well 2 years ago. And then we started just not hoarding, but getting whatever we thought was right for the house to at least let us to poor air quality.
I have some respiratory issues, so I would like to make the house more friendly to me and use very low energy for keeping the house comfortable. That was the main purpose, I think.
Both the science and people's awareness are growing. Some people are starting to even become everyday air quality detectives. And this can lead people to turn to more tech.
I read one article, they talk about small particles that really affect people's health and the lung function and asthma, that's the things. And they talk about the small particle, PM 2.5, main outdoor, mid indoor. So I started to look at these sort of things. So I bought this to try. And I found it's not only from outside. The indoor air is not as good as I expected. I was so surprised. And then I thought, must from the gas cooker, because I had gas cooker before, gas top. So I stopped using it, and now I have the induction cooker. So now I feel like I am an investigator for solving my own problem.
The air purifier in the bedroom, I love it because it'll give me an alert if the air quality is poor. And I didn't believe in any of this until like we'll be cooking, and then my wife will turn the fan on for the central and it'll pump air into all the rooms just to get rid of it from the kitchen. And I get an alert that the bedroom's got a low air quality. Actually, it's kind of big looking. You kind of can't really miss it if you're in the room. But what makes it smart is the app. So I've shared the device with my wife.
So it was kind of good when he obviously started installing these things. So I started looking at some of these things even before she was born to actually have them in the house. And with her going to childcare and things like that, I mean, it's great that she's getting outside and getting all that. But I think just within the house with the dust allergies and things like that, I think it's quite good to actually have that ready available for her as well. So.
And I love the other one in the study because it's really large. And so Taco and me are in there like when I work from home, my puppy, and so whenever there's a lot of like dust in the air from her or me or whatever, yeah, it would change lights, kind of like an indicator, but a more basic one, I suppose.
Technology offers some great ways to remove contaminants from the air, but it's when people and technology collaborate that we often get the best results.
The major issue is the wardrobe. I always check the humidity here. You open it and there's no ventilation at all.
Oh, I see.
And eventually I found it very damp and have mold.
Okay.
Mold. Mold is very bad. It's for your breathing. So eventually I open a small hole and connect my on switch with the wardrobe. But it's not open all the time because on switch is very damp, very wet. Okay. I don't want the opposite. When the humidity is low and strong wind, that day I will open the wardrobe, open the cap, so let the ventilation go.
I see.
That works most of the time. So now I have no mold problem in the wardrobe. Before I found it, a little bit, and then I cough.
Yeah. So you had to investigate it and then find the solution.
And then thinking about the solution.
Do you enjoy doing all of this?
Yeah, I do. At least I would like to have some in control. I do my best.
We also learnt with people in a series of in-person and online workshops where we asked them to imagine their own future air tech.
For this one, we're really kind of stretching how far we can imagine into the future. We're looking into the far future.
We're going to see if we can imagine a future air technology that you could have in your homes. I mean, what kind of things would it be important for both of you for it to actually protect the members of the family from? So things like asthma thunderstorms and other things that people might be allergic to. Yes, I mean, would purification be a priority for you? Would it be one of the primary reasons for having this technology?
Yes, I think the purer the air, the better.
Yeah. And what about heating and cooling? How important would they be as functionalities of it? Would you want it to integrate purification, heating and cooling in the same technology?
Yeah, you'd expect it to all come from the same air conditioner.
Nearly all of our workshop participants imagined that it would be inevitable that future air technologies will combine these different functions.
When this gets smartified, if that's a word, I'd love it to have sensing of when we're at home. So I'd like it to automatically turn on if we're at home and the temperature's above a certain amount, and it'll cool to a certain maybe percentage or 10 degrees less than what the current temperature is. I'm pretty sure that's an option for smart ones. Yeah, that's pretty much all I'd want in a smart one, and maybe integrate it into their purifiers.
Would you like to have a technology that did heating, cooling, purification and filtration, or would you prefer to have each one
separate? I would think if I combine two together, would use too much energy.
But what would their implications be for the air, for the energy and for the environment?
So what that means for the energy sector is that we could see air purification technology embedded into air conditioners over time. It could mean, for instance, that air conditioners with air purification are used more frequently and for more of the time. And that could increase overall energy demand in Australia, but also change the nature of the peak in our country.
We do need to protect ourselves from the air to a certain extent, but in doing so we are at risk of damaging the air. Is there a way forward that's safe for people to breathe clean air and also that's safe for the environment?
I think one of the best sort of steps and way forwards would be more awareness and more education.
What else can people do to actually help them to understand and cope with air quality indoors? So I know that you've been using the air monitor, right?
So what this Aranet 4 does is it measures the level of carbon dioxide in the air. And at the moment, this one, for example, is showing 486. Now that is an excellent level. That's pretty much outside air quality level, fresh air that's coming in through the window into this room. So if it's between, it'll never be really below 400, but if it's between 400 and 800, that's a safe level of carbon dioxide. And that is a proxy for telling you how well ventilated the space that you're in is. And I've got to say, it's not cheap. It's about $350, right? So it's not going to be able to be in everyone's budget. I acknowledge that. So we do need to look into ways to make these machines more accessible.
So do you have an air quality monitor that you take out with you, or you just have the one at home?
No, too expensive.
Okay.
But I can look it up from their website. In winter time, I look it up every morning. When I see this, every hour is good. Every hour, every 2 hours.
Our research raises some serious concerns about who can access and who can afford safe and healthy air. And of course, not everybody can. And that's in terms of buying new technologies, buying energy efficient appliances, and then of course also being able to afford to run them and to agree to run them in a particular way within a household unit where there's more than one person. So all of those kinds of considerations need to come into our planning as well, and to thinking about what it is that we should be promoting.
Whose responsibility do you think it should be to ensure that you've got access to clean and safe air?
I think it will be shared. And I think this is like the statement of most companies. But for me as an individual, I feel the same. Like, I can't say the government's responsible. They don't always drive new technology and doing what's right for the future. The general public aren't voting for what's right 10 years from now. They want what's right for them now. So they, you just can't expect them to do that. And I feel that if we vote with our money, what we choose to have in our own houses, that allows people around us to vote the same way and our kids to vote the same way with like what's right to buy, what's good for them, what's good for us, what's good for our neighbours and friends.
Yeah, so do you worry about the future of the environment?
Yeah. And people start seeing the effects like extreme weather. But as individuals, they don't feel this their duty to do it. They will think, I'm an individual and what can I do? I just do nothing. But if everyone do nothing, that means we are going to have nothing. But I've done my best, I think.
So do you think that Australia could have a unique opportunity to lead in this question around how to stay cool in the future?
I think Australia is uniquely positioned because we haven't just gone straight to the climate control of the indoor environment. We have a much wider range of strategies, that we already use to cool ourselves and our bodies and our homes. So that presents us with opportunities, it presents us with options because we haven't already locked into a particular way of doing things. And what we need to be thinking about now and be careful of is that we look to other solutions other than just the technology or just the 24/7 kind of climate control of our homes. And we think about what other ways we could do this, what other ways we could respond to the challenges of climate change and extreme weather and all of the other concerns we have around healthy air in a way that doesn't just contribute to the very problems that we're responding to.
We need political will to manage air quality, and with the science we have, with the technologies we have, we can do this very, very easily at this point of time.
If we can dream up new and interesting ways to help engage people and to get them involved and make them aware, then yes, and it does start at the school level. It does start with new curricula, new ways of learning and thinking and being with young people. So if we can start there, I think we have a future.
This is really on the boundary because this room is probably not designed for basically more than one person. With the two of us exhaling carbon dioxide, the concentration went up. The actually best practice by OSAGE recommended is below 600. So this is already in this space exceeding the best practice.
Must be time for me to go then.